Alrighty. Hello. Oh my goodness. It has been a week. Hello, Edwin. How's it going? Okay, there we go. I'm doing a-okay. Very tired, so probably just gonna be a short one today. I think we're only gonna focus on one of the characters' backstories, one of the 4 of my players' backstories, because there's just so much with her, and I think that I'll explain later. I'll show you what I'm looking at, because I want to do some shit with like demons and dreams and shit, and I'm excited. So we'll see how that goes. I guess we just hop right into it. I don't know how to do this, I'm sorry. So here we go. All right, D&D chatting, let's go. Alrighty, and I do have chat on screen now, which I'm excited about. It's gonna be so fun. Let me see if maybe we can alter this ever so slightly. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now we can see chat as well. And I will know what is going on when I watch these back later. Okay, so we've got a lot to do today, but also not much at all. So basically what I've done is I've listed out different things for each character. This is a chronological order of their backstory, essentially. Important characters in their history. And then I'm going to be doing that same stuff for these other characters. I just haven't had the time yet. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be focusing on Ayla. So Ayla is a Twilight Cleric, if I remember correctly. She is a cleric. So in my world, I have a few gods. Let me pull them up real fast. Work drive, D&D. The gods. So these are the gods that I've decided I'm including in my, here, I'll zoom out just slightly. There we go. So these are the gods that I've decided I'm including in my campaign, and I have included in past campaigns as well. The only one that's not listed there is Ayla, which is a goddess of the moon, swords, dance. She's got a lot going on, and I love her for it. So, yes. It's also in the gods overview. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Goddess of swordwork and freedom. So the basics around her. In my world, Ayla is not a normal goddess. She is, she's a goddess that most people haven't heard of. And I think that a lot of the good work that she does is done better in darkness. So yeah, let's just jump right into her. So she's the goddess of swordwork and freedom. Her symbol is a silver bastard sword, which is just like those straight swords. I think they have 2 hilts, if I'm not incorrect. And then a silver moon. So Ayla is a chaotic, good drow goddess. And she is, according to Forgotten Realms lore, the daughter of Lolth, who is the evil goddess of the drow and I think they're called driders, the spider drow. So she is the protector, Lolth is basically the person who brainwashes drow who live underground and tries to take over the world with them, you know, as every evil god is trying to do. And then Ayla is her daughter only in and of the sense that Lolth created Ayla, or rather that Ayla is basically pulled from the essence of Lolth, if that makes sense. So, well, I don't like the idea of her being the child of Corellon. I don't know why. I just feel like her being a piece of Lolth is more compelling than her being the child of two gods, personally. So I think I'm gonna just bing bang boop bop that out of there because I don't like it. So she is essentially, her whole goal is to release Drow from the clutches of Lolth and her brainwashing and all that fun stuff. So, given that I told my players that there's a secret god to find out about, one of them was like, well, I need to know who it is and make a character for it. So, basically what this is going to look like, is, okay, whew, there's so much to get into because essentially this character has two realities. One that she actually remembers and then the real reality. So the synopsis of what she remembers, is that she lived in a village, in Varshavon, and I'll actually go ahead and pull that map up so that we can take a look, at that. This is not right. This is also not right. This is right. Veria, maps, Midlands. Perfect. So, hopping on in here. Is it Suhavne? No, that's the other one. 1 second. Hold. I'm getting backstories mixed up. I actually don't know where this village is. Huh. I will have to find that out. Anyways, so we start out in unnamed place in, I believe it's Varshavon. It's probably in the lower parts of Varshavon. And we have a girl who just remembers being in a village where everything's pretty good. Everyone respects her family. Everybody respects them as warriors and all that fun stuff. And then one day their village is attacked by a group of paladins of some unnamed order that they haven't been able to figure out much information on. After this attack, she recalls waking up in a house with two tieflings. Their names are Kai and, I remember Kai, and Kai and Kolohe. So when she wakes up there, she has been burned on half of her face. Her half of her body is just completely marred at this point. And in the future she wears a mask and clothing to cover it. But she has a brother, Rayan, who had already left their hut at that point, and gone searching for answers, looking for this mysterious paladin order. So after that, basically Kai and Kolohe said, yo, we saved your life, but we expect some stuff in return, and we're gonna call in that favor later. So she and her brother decide to start training, and Rayan's harsh on her. He's kind of a dick, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. And then one day Rayan had oh wait, hang on. Okay, just double checking. Perfect. I did not miss anything. So one day when Rayan and Ayla, who is the character that we're looking at, started training, she got knocked down. She'd been having these weird dreams, and she got knocked down, and then she stood up, and the Word of Radiance cantrip just exploded out of her, basically. So for the first time, she saw respect in his eyes, which is really fun. A fun dynamic based on how strong you are, which is, in real life, a really unhealthy dynamic, but it's fun to explore when you're in D&D, because D&D is not real, and it's fun to explore different kinds of relationships and how they impact each other. So she starts researching different gods and entities to find out what these dreams are from and where this power came from, and she knows about warlocks because of the two tieflings who have been taking care of her at this point, according to her memory. And basically the warlocks at this point say, hey, we see that you've gotten strong. We need you to be in service to us for a bit of time. So she starts having these dreams about the underground drow whenever, just in general. And then on top of that, she's also doing these missions for these tieflings. And so she starts to go on these secret missions to save people. And then some of those, people join her in going and saving more drow from underground slave trades. So she found a friend whose name was Lilith, somebody from her old from the village that had been destroyed. And then Rayan would sometimes join them on these missions. And then let's go down here. So basically, Ayla, one day, she is up and about, and she has a waking dream. She goes into a cave as part of one of these drow rescue missions, and she's the only one to come out. She's blacked out completely. She has no idea what happened, and she goes back to the warlocks, and they say that the cave's too dangerous. They can't help for anything. And they they say you're shit out of luck. And then Rayan finally gets his shit together, and he tells her, go make some friends who know some strong magic, and then report back to me, essentially. You can keep doing your little rescue missions, but you need to find your own way to do so. So these are basically right here are her motivations. So basically she's looking for the paladins that ransacked her village. She wants to find her friend. She wants to uncover the magic, or the being that gives her magic, and all of that fun stuff. And then the power of friendship, of course, as we must. Hang on one second. I don't like how this thing is turning out. I might have to find a different thing for that. Anyways, so basically she talks to the warlocks, and she's like, hey, I need to go on a journey to find myself, essentially. And so these warlocks are essentially like, begrudgingly, fine, okay, I guess, if that's what you gotta do. But the thing is, in reality, none of this actually happened, except for the part after the village was destroyed. So, in reality, her parents were mages in Tavasvaria, which, as we know, is a place where mages are basically drafted into, servitude to the government. My brain. So a lot of her backstory is just instantly changed by acknowledging that the previous reality, where these people are her family, is no longer a reality. But she doesn't know that. So Ayla and her brother, Rayan, and Lilith, her friend from the previous village, are all orphans from a Cizine orphanage, which is right here. Blah, blah, blah. So they were kidnapped in their adolescence, and basically the warlocks kidnapped all of them and placed these mechanical, magical chips, essentially, in the back of their necks and brainwashed them. All three have their memories altered, and basically Ayla is the first real success. I think the way that I am planning on playing this is that Rayan is on the path to madness almost, I think, at this point. Just because he's getting more aggressive and more, I think, lost in a goal that doesn't exist, to the point where it's causing madness almost. But as we also will learn a little further down, the warlocks can't use the chips too often, the memory reset too often, because it will cause madness. So basically, all of these people were made to forget of their previous things, their previous past, but they can be triggered by strong emotions and experiences that they would have had in previous, in times before the brainwashing, or times that were molded over by brainwashing. So, the warlocks can center dreams and images from a distance, but it's kind of difficult, especially, I would like to say, especially considering that there is a god kind of interfering in all of that. So, she is, there is a reset button, basically, where the tieflings can call her back and be like, okay, reset, your memory is gone. But it does take a little bit of time, and there is a chance to cause madness. So, I think that's basically it in terms of the recap. Yeah, so this last little note is in regards to the friends that she saved, in the Underdark. So Buddha, Gruff, and Willow, I think Willow would probably be dead right now, but Buddha and Gruff would probably live. And then I also talked with my player, and she kind of said that she thinks Lilith would also be alive, which tells me that she wants her to be alive, which I'm okay with accommodating for. So, that's kind of setting the stage of what is going on with this character right now. So, in terms of, so I've been doing a lot of fun research about demons, especially this weird phenomenon, hang on D&D sessions, sleep demons. So basically there's this weird phenomenon of basically sleep paralysis, and I'll go ahead and toss this in chat just so that you can take a look at it if you would like to. But essentially, there's a lot of places that have tales about a demon that sits on your chest, or that disturbs your sleep in some way, or that you wake up and see, that has, that is basically folklore in different places, but they all kind of have the same motif of the demon sleeping on your chest, or sitting on your chest, sorry, not sleeping. So that's a fun little anecdote, and then I went on an absolute rabbit hole of all the different kinds of demons that that this is part of. So the idea I think I want to have is, I kind of want whoever is the tieflings patrons to be a demon of sleep, basically. And I think that will nicely contrast the goddess of the moon idea and give it kind of a two halves of one whole. Sleep demons are now uncommon, seem to have been replaced with alien abduction experiences. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's pretty much, I think that a lot of these these tales are very much based in the time before we had a lot of technology to blame it on, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how many people were thinking about aliens back then. Probably a couple, but probably not a lot, at least before Galileo. So, what we have the task of doing today is deciding what story beats we want to have her go through. So these are the ones I've come up with so far. So I do have the unknown one, Dreams, which is the goddess that she is in servitude to, the one that she gets her powers from. So the idea between this and the Warlock Dreams and how they kind of interact with each other is for them both to be so, not quite similar, but so delirious in their own ways that she doesn't know what's real. She doesn't know what's true, and the warlocks are aware of her dreams from this other being, which means that they're losing control. So they want to both appear as a source of good faith while also controlling her to do their bidding, essentially. So the parents in Tavasvaria are real, she just doesn't know them, is another one that we need to work out, but that's not going to be until, like, way later. I would imagine that there's sorcerers, maybe sorcerers with, like, moon magic or some shit. Maybe somebody way along their line was blessed by a goddess or something. She has to make an intelligence or wisdom saving throw every so often at night, which if she has a successful save, she would dream vaguely about the truth. I kind of like this idea, but I also kind of want to do a little bit more with it. Like, maybe if she fails, she gets a dream from the warlocks, and if she succeeds, she gets a dream from Ayla. I think that would be really fun. So the thing about Tavasvaria and the reason why these warlocks are in their own way dominating other people while just essentially fighting to captivate other people while maintaining their own freedom, is that maybe they were also from Tavasvaria as well, which is why they kind of have such an extreme view either way. So yeah, we have a couple things to work with, and then the implant has a cooldown to it, which we already talked about. So I do want to definitely, in the future, go from Ayla as the first real success in their experimentation to Rayan and or Lilith are going mad at this point. I think probably just Rayan. I think Lilith is in captivity at this point because she's more or less a failed experiment, but they haven't quite given up on her. Also, if I can explain anything better, please let me know. I'm terrible at explaining things and I just ramble. I think just Rayan is slowly going mad. So I think that's part of it. And I also think it would be cool if in the future she were to find a location with a bunch of like failed experiments, whether that be a whether that be like a cave full of people or like a grave full of dead bodies type situation. We shall see how that turns out. But this is kind of the vibe that I'm feeling for this part of it. So these yeah, kind of. So they were not necessarily a super soldier per se, because I think they had thought that Rayan was their first successful experiment, but also that they did not realize that Ayla had powers. So Rayan was, I think, probably, being built up to be a super soldier, and then he starts going mad, and he starts getting lost in his revenge that he wants on this group that doesn't exist, that these tieflings have essentially made up in his mind. So I think he was originally supposed to be their super soldier, but then Ayla came along, and she's not as messed up by the magical implants. They know more about the magical implants so that they don't make the same mistake and make her go mad, or at least on the path to madness. And then also, now she has all these cool powers, but they also come from a place that they don't have control over. So it's kind of that love-hate relationship of, well, this kind of helps our plans, but also not really. Some Winter Soldier vibes. Yeah, I guess so. Like a bunch of failed experiments. Very much so, I think. And I guess, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember most of the Captain America movies. So I do recall, though, there being like a password that somebody said to make him go absolutely bonkers. So maybe we could incorporate that kind of shit. Because we do have that like homing beacon thing. I'm gonna put that on this list as well. Hang on. Call back. Where they will cast a send could be. Okay. Okay. Alright. So this callback idea. So this going down to the bottom there. Wanting total freedom with their magic at all costs, even other people's lives well-being. We'll come back to that in a second. Alrighty, so I definitely want there to be a story beat where she is called back. It's just not going to be very soon. So that's going to probably be on the lower tier. Like, not super important, but I do want that to happen. It's just a question of what event triggers it. And I think that maybe once she learns Ayla's true name, the goddess's true name, maybe? I think that would be cool. So the unknown one, so the warlock dreams we'll do right here. Let's move this thing over. Alright, and then we'll put this as the callback as well. Perfect. Memory implant has a cooldown to it. They can only use it every so often because it has made people go insane in the past. Ayla is the first real success in their experimentation. Location with a bunch of failed experiments. Either dead or trapped. I think it would be interesting if it were the other orphans from the orphanage. But of course they're all adults now. I think that would be interesting. And then Rayan is slowly going mad on that front. The warlock dreams. So one thing they built in for sure is a callback where they will cast a sending spell. Perfect. create the false memories, the warlocks might have used some part of their own memories of places and people. That's a really good idea. I actually really like that. So maybe it was really the warlocks. Ooh. It was really the warlocks who had the village that was burned down. Maybe by followers of Alistrae. Which would make them essentially the ultimate villain in her arc, the big bad in her character arc. Perfect. Chat's finally caught up on screen. Let's go. Intelligence saving throw. Is from well. Okay, let's do. Okay, the warlock dreams. Let's do. Okay, the truth about the warlocks. Okay, so I think I definitely like that a little bit more than the villainous extreme, personally, because I don't think the villainous extreme makes sense on its own. I think with the addition of the burned. Oh, what if she had a dream from Alistrae, but it's the original, like, it's in her mind, the scene of her village being burned, but the faces flash, and it's different people. And it's, like, they're same races and stuff, but just different people. That'd be so much fun. Okay, I love that idea, Edwin. That's crazy. Okay, the warlocks were the original, whoops, ones who had their village burned, perhaps by Alistrae followers. Okay. Okay. Perhaps by Alistrae's followers. Flashback. Oh no. Dream sequence. Sequence. The village burning, but the faces flash to those Ayla does not recognize. Perfect. I think we italicize that. I need some kind of Control F marker, so I will mark it like this. Dream sequence. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright. Alrighty. I like that a lot. Okay. So they built that in a callback, which we'll get to later. But the Warlock Dreams, so they're starting in Alnar over here, which we kind of did we did a bunch of world building last time, which was a lot of fun. Which we got the basics down of. But I think that I want there to be a goal that the Warlocks want her to do in Alnar. Maybe getting them fire opals? Something akin to that? Center of the goods where a giant fire floats. It can't be too terribly conspicuous, especially so early in the campaign, I think. But it does need to be relatively important, or at least some kind of task that is great. And then I think also the question is, do we want it to be a false Illustrai or false unknown one dream sequence, or do we want it to be a dream sequence that she knows is sent from the warlocks? Like literally the dream spell, they just come in and they're like, hey, we need you to do this, this, and this while you're in Alnar, and we will welcome you back into our home whenever you want to, I guess, kind of thing. Okay. The warlock dreams. Alright, so she needs a task in Alnar, and I kind of want her to have a task in Umbra as well, which is the capital of the city, and that's also, so Umbra is the location of the Thieves Guild of, Rundar. It's essentially the HQ of, the Thieves Guilds of Rundar, which is known as the Mirage. And we have Cass, who is our little werewolf boy, whose lover was killed by one of the Thieves Guild members, and so he's got beef with the leader of the Thieves Guild. So he's going to Umbra eventually. Probably not too terribly early on in the campaign, but relatively early on in the campaign. So I kind of want to give a lesser quest to Ayla in Umbra and a greater quest to Ayla in Alnar, if possible. Not necessarily right off the riff, but something a little nice. Something just a little spicy in there. So I think for Alnar, we'll have, let's do a, task in Alnar. Task in Umbra. I think I want this one to be, the first might be a simple warlocks appearing in her dreams, so that happening is a normal thing for her. True, and then she has less suspicion over potentially false dreams as well. That's good. Okay. First might be a simple warlocks appearing in her dream. Yes. Okay. The warlocks appear. They task her with, I kind of want her to just do something very simple for the first couple of sessions, maybe. Like sending them a couple of what are they called? Fire opals, and then what the heck? A couple of fire opals, and then like maybe when they're later on in the city, they have to do something a little bit bigger of an ask. We'll see. They task her with, I think, just sending them fire opals at this point. Opals, I spelled that right. Yes, I did. Like, I would say raw fire opals specifically, because it won't be so easy to just find in a shop. That might be something they'll have to steal, question mark? But they need some kind of divine right that makes this okay. They need something, that drives her to do so. So maybe they found another person. They found another person, maybe even from her village. And they think they might be able to help them with the fire opals. To help this person with the fire opals. tasker was sending them raw fire opals, they found another person from her village, and they think they may be able to help this person with the fire opals. How though? Maybe they've forgotten their memory. Just toss a little truth in there, a little foreshadowing. A little foreshadowing. Just a tiny bit. Ayla, future story beats. The memory implant has a cooldown on it. She needs to dream, or she needs to sleep before this happens, I think, so that they can implant a person in her brain. Okay, so let's toss this to the side. Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. Whoops. Let's do a little. Okay. So, we're gonna left hand. Also, if you ever want to do anything like this, the LibreOffice Draw is the application I'm using. It's completely free. I personally find it more user-friendly than Visio, just personally. And it's really useful. You can do all types of stuff, and what's important to me is very user-friendly. If something is not meant for technical people and you are making it a technical task, then your program is inherently stupid. Descent into a fire opal mine that is no longer in use to see if the miners left some fire opal undiscovered. The mine having been abandoned when the main vein started running out. I like it. I like it. I like that a lot. Okay, so first things first, we need to have her. She needs to sleep before this task is assigned to her. The new person is now in her memories. The Lion of Kunmar slams door open. Are you winning, son? Hello. Welcome. I am winning, and enough the fact that I am talking about D&D. I am having a great time. So the new person is now in her memories. How are you? Just a by the way, how are you doing, Mr. Lion, or Madam Lion, or they Lion? Or all of the above, you know? The new person is now in her memories. They found another person. So we're gonna have her go. Because I like the idea of using the descent into a mine that is no longer in use, because it gives her a sense of, yeah, this is okay. I'm not doing anything evil. I mean, it's not in use anymore, right? So she can justify it. I'm good trying to figure out what spells I can learn with my character that can make permanent effects I can use to make a sick base. Permanent effects. Do you mean like making an item for them, or expand on that for me while we continue working on this? Go into an abandoned mine where the main vein has dried up. Oh, hello, Aman Ishtar. Good evening. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us. We are just, you know, planning on wrecking my players' lives in the future. We're planning out some story beats for the characters in my campaign in the future. It is also morning here, so welcome from wherever you are from. Okay, so she needs to sleep before this task is assigned to her, and the new person is now in her memories. Go into an abandoned mine where the main vein has dried up. So this will have to be information that they can dig up info. So we'll mark that as info, I think. So what chaos is an option? Wall of stone is permanent if you concentrate the full 10 minutes. Nice, Edwin. We love a helpful bunch of Dungeons and Dragoners. Alrighty. Hang on. So what chaos is an option? So much chaos, my friend. So what we're dealing with right now is a character who has what she remembers and then what is actually reality. Basically, a couple of tiefling warlocks were like, let me just kidnap you and change your brain. So that's what we're dealing with right now. We're just kind of mapping out how those dream sequences and the consequences of at least early stuff is going to play out in the future. Okay, at the moment I play a character. Wait, I plan to play your character for my own. So I'll eventually get 6th level wizard spells, 3rd level sorcerer cleric spells, and 9th level slots. From that, I found the following spells I can make permanent. Galder's Tower, Arcane Lock, Guards and Wards. Nice. So is this going to be a, I'm gonna just actually expand this real fast. Is the character you're building going to be a, is it going to be a stationary thing, or are you also adventuring and then your home base is that wizard's tower? Fake platforms leading to the teleportation circle. I like that. Everyone thinks about, the teleportation circle, but they don't think about what dangers come with a teleportation circle. A wizard that is a psychiatrist! I love it. Without the right spells. I think you would probably want to look into like enchantment spells for that one. A stationary hideout. Yeah, that's good. I thought you were talking about like permanent spells that you could cast on your character, which to a certain extent you could do like arcane lock on a pouch or something like that. But it's a little bit more difficult when you're talking about your character itself, so it makes more sense. That's a hideout. Alrighty, so go into an abandoned mine where the vein has dried up. See what they can find. I think this would be a good place to insert monsters. So we'll toss that there. Perfect. We'll take a nice little look at that later. I think maybe when we actually start, I think maybe if I'm not exhausted, tomorrow we're either gonna be playing like a chill game or we're gonna be doing some more campaign planning specifically for the first session. We're gonna do some planning for my first session. Yeah. Perfect. And then we'll put a task in Umbra as well. Down here. I need to make this convert. Edit style? No. We'll just, what size is this? 10-point font? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We'll do a nice little folded corner for a note here. Bap, bap. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. toss this as a separate one down here. Perfect. Alrighty. She just doesn't know them, so we're gonna toss this down here. I think I'm gonna develop her parents a little later on because there's no reason to tackle that right at this moment. Okay, so Warlock dreams are big ones. Whoops. Okay, so let's tackle the unknown one dreams. I definitely want to have at least one in the first session. I don't want them to be too terribly often, but I think it needs to be established that she's having weird dreamy stuff happening. Okay, let's see. The unknown one dreams. So Alistrai is at this point, she's given her 4th level spells at this point. So, because they're starting at 7th level. So they have to have a reasonably okay relationship. I think that this dream, I kind of like the idea of starting it out just with the flashes of a village burning. But the faces flash to those Ayla does not recognize. I kind of? So we have two options. We have an option of giving her a dream of essentially I want you to go on this quest even though you've kind of been avoiding my quests, but I'm just texting to make sure, I'm just making sure you got my text, you know? That kind of thing. Or we can give her, or we can have Ayla give her a little seed of truth in the, sorry. We can have her give a little seed of truth in the dream, like the, dream sequence vibe. The dream sequence of the village burning in her past, and faces flash to people that she doesn't recognize in the places of people that she does. I'm reminded of the village at the start of Men in Tights that complains it gets burned down every time the movie starts. Yeah, it's psychotic. Alrighty. Village burning, but the faces flash to those Ayla doesn't. I don't want to go quite that spicy, but I also don't want to go like, hey, did you get my text? I need you to go rescue these people type thing. Maybe we go, maybe we do an image of one of the people who were captured in the cave. One of their, we just have a dream of one of them just sitting in a cage, like looking very spaced out of their mind type situation. I think that would be fun. Maybe. Alright, let's do italics dream. I'm lost. Dream sequence. I keep pressing Control instead of Shift. Perfect. An image. Well, let's look at her character list. So we have the saved friends. We can do the saved friends or the best friend Lilith. I kind of want to start. I want to start down low a little bit. I want to kind of want to start with Buta, because she probably would have built a strong bond over protecting people with Ayla. I think. Image of Buddha in a cage surrounded by okay, I would say with blurry surroundings. The dream, while you cannot feel anything, your brain registers. I would say your brain processes. An image of Buddha in a cage with blurry surroundings. The dream, while you cannot feel anything, your brain processes a dark, damp environment. A coldness. A boldness. A thing I like when there are memory shenanigans is that a player found in a place their past self-explored and there's a note from them, but they clearly don't remember it. That's so interesting. I guess that begs the question, has she had her memory reset too terribly often? Let's see. PC stuff. That's the wrong one. Ayla. Ayla's backstory. Notes the DM. Ayla and her brother and Lilith. Okay. Has she been reset? So she has been reset, but she doesn't remember what was in the cave, but she has not been fully reset, which might be part of why she is such a intact psyche at this point. Made to forget that she had ever met the warlocks, but still have a hatred. Unfortunately, she was never meant to be captured. So Lilith's memory starts to come back because she has been reset too many times as well. Okay. So the thing is that she sent letters to her brother, who has been reset one too many times. He's starting to lose a couple bolts. And there may be some discrepancies in those letters, but I don't think that her brother Rayan would be the type to keep the letters. I think he would have burned them, personally. The team would have to be silenced. Yeah. I think I need to, I'm gonna message her real fast. 1 second. Would Ayla keep any journals or anything of the sort? Perfect. Alright, we will get that answer later. Hello, Luna Dragon. Welcome in. Welcome into the chat. We are just talking about a character in the campaign I'm running. So we're talking about dream sequences and seeing what she does and doesn't remember, because she has a reality that she remembers and then actual reality, which is not reality, obviously. An image of Buddha in a cage with blurry surroundings. A dream while you cannot feel anything. Your brain processes a dark, damp environment, a coldness, and a starvation in your guts. I just want her to feel, I would say, and this feels wrong. Paragraph. Huh. Weird. Let me start, I would say, and a pink yogurt. Beginnings of starvation. For, fun fact, in terms of, you know, brainwashing people, starvation is probably one of the more, useful? Sounds messed up to say. But one of the more useful ways of starting the process of brainwashing. The False Hydra is a D&D homebrew monster that got famous. This monster maybe is worth a read for inspirations. I will put it on my list. Okay. The False Hydra. Yes. Do you guys ever have, like, other fun monsters that I might not have heard of? Let me know, because I'm always down to learn even more. Luna says, I've been lurking since the beginning of the stream. This is cool to watch a DM work out a storyline. Oh, thank you, Luna. I appreciate it. Sleep deprivation. Yes, 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 as well. This monster messes with the memory. False height. Okay, well, messes with the memory. Well, we gotta look at it as a unit. As a unit. I was like, oh, cool monster. Totally down, but memory monster. False Hydra stats. States. Rat stats. Huge aberration, neutral evil, aberration. Interesting. 15. Yes. I love things that I'm very excited, and I think that we'll probably talk about this tomorrow if I'm not like absolutely sleep deprived, which I'm feeling the sleepies hitting. But we'll be talking about these dust memphits where they multiply every single round, and you have to find the original one in order to like get rid of all of them, otherwise it'll just keep multiplying. So I'm excited for that. So we'll see how that works. Understands the languages of its victims. All hostile creatures can hear the Hydra sing. Must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failure. It would be so interesting to put this later on in the campaign, and then like because I'm a big proprietor of players being able to use the items that they collect from creatures and use those in like the pieces of creatures that they collect, and use those in spells and my brain isn't working, and items and poisons and things like that. It would be really cool if they rolled poorly on harvesting from a Hydra, a false Hydra, and then it like gave her a flashback of like my brain isn't working. I am so tired, guys. It gave her a flashback of either the reality or maybe even like another reality that is also a false reality, but that makes her question the false reality that she feels like is reality. Does that make sense? Bomb. Electroshock therapy. Yes, Luna, correct. The Flash Hydra started as a monster that is more of a local hazard. I once read a story where a DM used this monster and the player found out that one party member was missing as they found randomly a letter in an extra backpack they had. That's fun. Interesting. I like those. I like the spices. I like those spices. Let's see if she replied. She did not. Sag. Okay. Forgets the Hydra is there. Interesting. The Hydra can use a bonus action to stop singing. whale. The Hydra can use a reaction to whale. It takes 2d4 psychic damage. The false Hydra resembles a mundane Hydra, as mundane as Hydras can be, in a superficial way, but is a creature altogether far more disquieting and sinister. Oh, this is so fun. So here's the fun thing about Drow in my world is that I think that Drow are just like any other elves. The difference comes in the ones that are underground. So they're like pale, but in a way that people shouldn't be pale. Like you've never seen the sun before. Like you've been trapped in a basement your whole life. And there's just something sickly to you when you haven't been in sunlight, when you're a creature. In my opinion, all elves need a little bit of sunlight. You know, like most gamers, most nerds need a little bit of sunlight. Especially the ones who are jocks. We gotta go outside and get some vitamin D sometimes. So, but even then, you still at least absorbed a little bit of sunlight. But these are people who have literally never seen the sun. So I kind of like making this connection between the false Hydra's visage to the underground Drow, if that makes sense. Until they found regular heal potions. Later they found out heal potions were the healing of the forgotten party member. And a player has a brother they don't remember, and so on. The mind flayers are also a good monster when it comes to messing with the mind. Old but gold. I like mind flayers. The only issue is I feel like mind flayers, I feel like they live in a hive mind. I feel like they live in groups and they are strongest when they are in groups. Which would make it hard to use unless you were to go in, get something, do something, and get out, which I've already done in a previous campaign. So in actually 3 of my players in this campaign are from my previous campaign, the Buff Ducks. So I may use them later in the campaign, but I don't think that that's going to be at the forefront. I much prefer the false Hydra idea, but that will also have to be a little bit later. So I'm just gonna bookmark this. To call. New folder. Memories. Save. Perfect. Brilliant. I love it. Okay. We got some fun ideas going on here. I love it. This is so fun. Okay. So, let's do a nice little this. We're gonna do a nice little moving on over here. A bibbity boop. We're gonna do a bibbity bop right there. The built-in. We'll do this. And then we'll do this. I think we'll start organizing stuff like this. So this is like the big idea, the big story beat that needs to be hit. And then this is the details of it. Okay, she has to make it till I think this needs to be down here as well. Here it is. Perfect. Brilliance. We love to see it. The truth about the warlocks. Perfect. Okay. Unknown one. Perfect. Okay. We're getting somewhere, guys. We're getting somewhere. Organization is key. Otherwise, my brain overloads. Or got abducted for a mind flayer, but at this point, you're practically done for. Yeah, that's true. I just find, I find it hard to imagine a scenario where a mind flayer would not just kill you or drive you insane, you know? In the story I had read, the heal potions were the rationalizing of the heals of the forgotten person because there was no one who could heal the party, a thing the party sometimes talked about. Do you mind, or do you recall, do you mind if I ask, and do you recall, how did that end? Did they all just, like, mourn this person, or did they go to find them, or how did that end? That's so interesting. It's a famous, I've never heard it. Then again, I am 80 years old, and have never seen the internet in my life, even though I'm in IT. This is a separate thing. Let's do... Sorry, if I don't organize something early on, I get overwhelmed and then I don't want to do it. So we're gonna organize this a little bit. Copy, paste. Let's put those little tidbits to remember in there. Just nice little tidbits to remember. Bop, bop. Perfect. Brilliance. Delightful. The truth about the warlocks. We're gonna toss that there. We're gonna toss that there. And this there. Brund. Yes. Me. A speller. Village burning. Okay, so dream sequence is a separate thing. I'm gonna put that slightly to the side. Okay. Whap. Whap. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Perfect. We are in it! What was the topic? Oh, okay, sorry. Is a famous D&D story. The player burned the whole village down and forgot why, at least as I remember it. Not the best source when we talk about a monster that sings and makes you. I like that, Amon. That was nice. That was nice. Just randomly throwing it out there in regards to the mind flayer. What if the player realizes that the life they think is real isn't? So they somehow manage to find a mind flayer on their own and try to convince the being to somehow give them part of their real memories back. If they fail to save or can't convince the player to do it, then there's a fight. Just throwing a thought out there from the previous comment. I like that. The answer is yes. If they decide to do that, I think that would be brilliant. The only issue is they have 4th level spells, and at 5th level is Greater Restoration, which is where they are able to essentially for 100 gold pieces be like, bring back my memories. So I have this fun idea, and I kind of want opinions on it, because my DM in my the campaign that I play in does this, and I like it, but I'm also hesitant how I would feel as a player who didn't get the memo beforehand. I guess I should probably just ask my players, but I do want to hear your guys' opinions. In order to Greater Restoration your memories, you have to know what memories are missing. What are your opinions on that as we continue on forward? I would like to know your guys' opinions. I should make this chat. I don't know how to do this chat thing. We'll make this smaller. Whoops. We'll make that smaller, and then we'll do a little alt. There. Give you guys a little bit more room to breathe. Just a little bit more room to breathe in our little chat on screen thing. Okay, back in it. Anyway, I would love to know your opinions on Greater Restoration and revealing memories and all that fun stuff. Perfect. Brilliant. It's not even. The problem is that you need to at least know that something is amiss to aim the spell maybe, but that is a conversation I would prefer to have with players. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a question I need to toss into chat as well. Actually, for you guys who are new here, I kind of want to show you my my whole shebang in terms of Discord. So for Discord, I have just general chats for everybody to talk in. I have my DM resources. You guys are welcome to any of the links that are in here as well. This is what I use for map generation. It's right here. This is what my map looks like, just a by the way. And then my D&D resources, I'll actually go ahead and toss it in chat so you guys don't have to copy and paste. But this has a lot of stuff. It has maps and things that are definitely not ripped from the web, I promise. So yeah, this is what my world looks like essentially. So this has all of the information that my players need in order to interact in my world. And as well as what resources they're allowed to use as well. And if you guys ever want to just take a screenshot of any of the links on here, you're free to. Yeah, easy peasy. And then this will be for, like, so you don't have to talk in the middle of sessions. I can just type a name in name chat and they don't have to, my brain is not working. And they don't have to ask you how to spell everything. And then we have general chat, consent in gaming. I think this is really important. This is basically just a, yo, are you okay with this and this in your games, essentially. And then we have, eventually we'll do recordings for our sessions and what our next session is. And then battle chat, I have notifications turned off for, and they'll be able to talk in here and I won't look. And then they just have backstory chats for each of them. And then these are that they are individually in. And then we have DM notes for each of them that I just type stuff into. So yeah, and then these are just my personal notes for like session ideas and things like that. Yeah, this is how I set up mine. Feel free to go for it if that is what suits your fancy. Okay, what did I miss in chat? Because this can influence if or if not the players aim to get it. Yes, I would agree. I think Greater Restoration in general has more uses than just mind fixingness. But also it's clerics only, clerics and paladins, I think. It may also be druids, I can't remember. But they're able to prepare their spells based on day, and they don't have to like permanently have it in their repertoire. So it makes it a little less pressing for them to make that decision. Also, I could make a case that it clears the fog of your memories, but this also can have dire consequences. I would love to hear what your dire consequences would be in that case. Like maybe a little bit more of the madness type stuffs. If the player asks randomly to the patron, even if they still don't know their name, to show them something real after questioning dreams for a while and wondering why they know people and whatnot. But yes, asking players what they think is a good idea. So I love that idea. Right now, at this very point in time, her character does not have a relationship with the goddess that would allow her to freely speak to her, I guess. They really she doesn't really communicate to the goddess. The goddess just sends her dreams. But I think once they reach like 8th or 9th level is probably where we'll start seeing a little pushback from the player character as well. I don't think that she will be satisfied with just receiving dreams for very long, personally. As a DM, I would inform a player that maybe that if they try to forcefully break the walls around their memories, this could break some open that was there to protect their sanity. Interesting. I like it. There to protect their sanity. That would be interesting. Interesting to see. Okay, so maybe... I think this is a conversation I need to have with my players, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and... Whoops. Copy down some of your points, just so that I can talk to them about it. So, I'm thinking greater restoration, that's what it is. Here, I will just pull these over to here so you guys can see. Restoration. Wow, wow. Alright, and then I will whittle those down into a little sentence for them to read. Okay. I read too many horror books, and so I can grab from there when it comes to insanity that they may beg to get them removed. Interesting. I wonder, so... I think only a couple of them have, like, memories that would break their brains. Hers being definitely one of them. I don't know, your entire reality being squashed in 5 seconds is pretty big. But I also think that maybe if they don't know what the target is, there is a chance that they have a memory that doesn't belong there, maybe. Okay, let's do a little note. A chance that there is a memory that doesn't belong there. Yes. Yes. To protect the bit sanity that was left, I gladly forget what it means not to go utterly insane from the things I found out. Nice. Perfect. I have a weird relationship with horror and of the fact that I love the idea of it. But I feel like I'm terrible at executing it because I just don't like making people uncomfortable, which is something that I just need to break through as a DM, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, hello, 1D&D. Greetings, dropping in to see what your stream is about. Gonna lurk and listen. Hello, we are currently, we're doing some story beats for a character that has one of my players, sorry. Her character who has a reality that she recalls, and then a reality that, is actual reality, that she has no memory of. So, that's what we're doing right now, is just, you know, planning out those story beats for a little bit. I have the habits to read books at night. I know, my issue isn't necessarily getting scared by horror books in the moment. It's more of just, like, the paranoia that comes after, you know? It's, like, not fear per se, but paranoia. That's the best way I have been able to describe it. I have the bad habit to mess with the mind of others. A bard I play is from the College of Spirits, so the horror themes are strong in this character. I want to play like a horror-y based character, but I feel like I couldn't pull it off. I laugh too much out of anxiety, you know? I'd make myself nervous. It'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. Yes, consent in RP is extremely important. Extremely important. I don't know if I actually... Hang on, let me check my DM resources and see if I uploaded it into there. I have not. Okay, so I will put the consent and gaming in there. 1 second. Un momento, my brothers. Consent and gaming. Perfect. It is officially being uploaded. Perfect. Consent and gaming. Let's actually take a look real fast, because I like to talk about this, because I think it's really important to understand that a lot of people do not have the same experiences as you do, and it's really important to understand that certain things are just totally not okay for me to even know exists. So what I did in consent in gaming was I did green meant okay to happen to my character / the party. Green and yellow, like both of those filled out if something's okay with for the other party members, but just not you specifically. Yellow is okay to happen in the world / be a topic of discussion, and red meaning I don't want to hear it, I don't want to see it, I don't want to know that it exists, basically. Like, I'm here for fantasy game, you know? So this is the one that I use personally. I find that this system works for me. It also has some sections where you can fill out other stuff. And then I personally, some people may not be comfortable with this, and that's okay. But I think it is extremely helpful for this to be available for everybody to see, everybody in your group, just so that they can go ahead and like acknowledge that there are certain things that this person does not want to talk about, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is the one that I use personally, and I think it covers a lot of the very I think there are some very specific ones, but also the very base ones that you just want to get out of the way and make sure that everybody's okay with, you know, horror and gore and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what that looks like. I just wanted to show you guys because I find it very useful in my own games personally. I joked as a friend asked, how do you deal with the nightmares from Stephen Kind, Cthulhu, or other horror books you read? My snarky answers, for nightmares you need sleep. I feel that. As someone with chronic insomnia, that's just a relatable thing. Awesome, 1D&D. I'm excited to have you here. This list is important when it comes to horror. Extremely when you wish to do horror is always important when it comes to horror, especially when you wish to do horror properly. Yes. So, the game that I play in, her one shot that we first joined, it was so much fun. It was so creepy and terrible. I love it. She had basically the final room of that one shot, after which point we were all like, hey, can we keep playing? I don't want to stop. And so now here we are 3 years later, still in that campaign. So it's just this room full of, like, a child is currently getting sacrificed. The room is filled floor to ceiling child bones, and there's child skulls just lining the walls. It was just like, ugh, this is terrible. Thank you for following Mr. 1D&D. Mirage Changeling Hexblade I played ended up in Cursed in Strahd. Nice. I haven't played the Curse of Strahd. So I have a I have a weird thing where I don't like to read things I'm not interested in. And so it's not that I'm not interested in running a game based on a module, it's just that I feel like at some point I will get bored of reading and I will skip over all the good stuff, and so I would rather just make my own world, which is a terrible reason to do that, but here we are having an entire world that we're developing. It's great. I think because some characters of mine would lose their mind in this room. Yeah, that's fair. I feel. Alrighty. So, we're back in it. I have to refocus. Thank you, by the way, thank you guys for hopping in and talking Dungeons & Dragons with me. This is so much fun. This is a blast. I'm having a great time. Okay, so we're get back to the task in Umbra. I don't want to do that yet. I think I want to save that for later. So, task in Alnar. The warlocks appear. The task... They task her. Okay, I was like, what? They task her with sending them raw fire opals. They find a person. They think they may have been able to help this person with the fire opals. They've forgotten their memories. I think that would be just a nice little nod, a little foreshadowing, maybe, for the other players. We'll see if any of them catch on to that. She needs to sleep before this task is assigned to her because the person is now in her memories. Information, they need to find information to find a mine where they could get these raw fire opals. And then I need to develop monsters for that. So that's a whole task. The warlock dreams, we are not doing that. So the callback, this is gonna be like way at the bottom. It's not gonna be at the very bottom, but it's definitely gonna be down there because I don't want her to get basically a callback beacon without it being way further into the campaign. It has to be at least to where there is a conflict of interest between what she knows of the unknown god, which is Elistrai, you all know. So what she knows of the unknown god versus her duty and love for the warlocks. So that's gonna be a nice little tension piece right there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Also an option to use a mod room to have room to prepare stuff in the background. That's a good point. I don't know why I haven't thought about that. I guess I'm just a completionist at heart. I just like to finish things. But that is a good point. Maybe I'll look into some modules and see what there is. What if the task in Umbra is to deliver the fire opals there to a specific individual that is from her past, which draws out a dream that the player gets confused about? Maybe I think you're onto something, Luna. I think you're onto something. So if she, and then we have to have, I think that also fixes our problem with, I want Umbra to be more about, we have for those of you who are just joining, we have another character who's a werewolf man who has beef with the Thieves Guild. So in Umbra, which is the capital of Dakal, which is the country we're being located in, I want it to be focused more on him than on anybody else. Because Umbra's gonna be his shit, his place to shine. I want him to be torn to pieces, but we'll talk about that another day. We need to have a drop-off point. Drop off point. So I think that you're onto something. So in Umbra, and maybe, if we come back to here, so her father, who is her fake father, is this dude. I can't remember if he... Two warlocks. Wait, is her dad dead or not? I don't think I think her dad is dead in her brain. I think her dad is dead in her mind. Hang on. Father Almos. Oh, those are the only ones. Let's do father, perhaps? Father Almos, yes. Father disappear into the town. Okay. Ayla's father is actually just an Underdark drow who is in cahoots with the warlocks. Okay, and then I think it was in her chat that we talked about this. Oh god, there's so many notes. Hang on. Nope. Nope. I can't find it. Her. Unfortunate. Father eventually turned sides for love of the village. Huh. Okay, it's somewhere in here. I just can't find it. So her dad is supposed to be like, or her fake father, I should say, is supposed to be like a, you can trust us, and if we ever need to reset you, you'll trust your dad kind of thing. So, blah, blah. So I don't think I can input her father just yet. Somebody trusted. Somebody trusted. Drop off points. Umbra. I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll revisit that. We'll revisit that in a little bit. Robin, his spirit bard, has a morbid sense of humor, but this works only on specific tables. Not all concepts work everywhere. I think that's actually a really important thing that a lot of D&D people forget, is that not every table is built for your character. Like, I have discovered in the past, I am a late bloomer in terms of D&D. Like, I've only been playing D&D for, oh my god, I'm ancient. 5 years now? I think 5 years now? My senior, the summer after my senior year of high school, I started DMing. I went backwards. I started DMing and then I became a player. Do not recommend being a player first. But I think it took me a while to understand that there's certain tables that I just don't want to play in, just because I don't, like, it's not my vibe, you know? I like silly, goofy campaigns, but not when it's only silly and goofy. I like a little bit of seriousness. I like a little bit of trauma, you know? I just like to be traumatized by my games, just a tiny bit. I often like to use, often use items that are linked to memories, at least when a player interacts with it, but not random items. So, like, something from their past. So, what if, I kind of like that idea. What if she saw a symbol of Sizine or something to that effect and remembered, wait, no, she was smuggled out as a baby. I take it back. No, I'm getting my countries mixed up. There's too many names. So, what if she saw a symbol from Sizine, correct, where her orphanage was, and maybe she had, like, an item that she doesn't remember that was from Tavasvaria that links her to her family? Maybe, like, a family crest or something that she doesn't remember? I think that would be fun to add, actually. I like that idea. I'm on. Doing a lot for this character so far. Maybe start on the other background so you can see if there are things you can cross-connect between the characters. I actually do know several of them already have crossing parts. The thing is, I haven't chronologically organized all of the rest of the characters, so we can't do theirs today, unfortunately. But also, it's that I already understand to some extent where their paths are going to cross in history. We have a connection between these two because they're both part of, like, cultish type families. And her, I think her nanny or something, I'd have to reread it, but her nanny or something is part of, was one of the freed peoples that Alistrai's followers freed. And so there's a little bit of a connection there. Cass currently doesn't have a connection with anyone, I don't think, and neither does Lisbilda. But we'll journey on back to those. I think the biggest issue for me is finding out character beats for the near future mostly, for each of these characters. Because I kind of understand where they're going in the long run, but I'm really bad at short-term planning. Good at long-term planning, bad at short-term planning, which is why we're doing this. Because of this, I often ask if a character idea is okay, because when it isn't, it can look different. I can look for different ideas. That's a good plan, good plan. As humans, you can often link ideas, events, or thoughts to an object, like the game you suit to play with the partners. As a human, you often link... Perfect, like the game you play with everyone. Okay, an instrument that you learn to play music from your parents. My grandfather was a musician, so I often link emotions or memories to music. That's a great example. I like that. So the issue is she does not have a direct family line that she would remember because she was a baby, but maybe she has items from the place she came from. With your parents as you were a kid. I see, understood. Perfect. Yeah, I do, like, I have such a strong mental link to the game, sorry. It's so ridiculous. It makes exactly 0 sense. But it is just lodged in my brain as, like, family game night type situation. That's a great point. Okay, drop off point Umbra. We have to figure out who. Who pressed A? Not me. Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Oh my goodness. So much has been done, and it's only a 10:46 in the morning. Alrighty, Warlock Dreams to make intelligence saving throw. Definitely want to do... Okay. We've kind of got some of the bigger ones mapped out at this point, I think. Because we've got Rain and Slowing Go... Okay, let's start from the top. They got a task in Alnar. Task in Umbra, which we will probably... I want to do a different Unknown One streams. I want to do one that's not quite so crispy. Not quite so... there. I don't know how else to describe it. I want something that's not quite so on the nose. That's probably a good analogy. The Unknown One dreams. I definitely... We need something like that is reminiscent of you didn't look at my texts, please reply to me, and don't worry, I'm not trying to, you know, put pressure on you or anything. We need something like that for that kind of dream. At least for the very, very first one. Maybe something that's just a... What if we gave her a little image of what Illustrice looks like? So maybe like this silvery hair type situation. Yeah, I think it was Edwin. Edwin is the one who's from the Netherlands, so he's also early as well. I work nights, so this would be around probably 1 AM in normal people time, you know? I work nights, so this is fine for me. I'm just here, alive. Sleep deprived, but alive. Heat happens with the day. Yeah, I always wake up. I'm in Arizona, so it's literally 100 and something degrees. You guys are probably in Celsius. It's high 40 degrees Celsius. When I'm asleep, so I always wake up super dehydrated. It's kind of crazy. Okay, the Unknown One dreams. Oh, I think that once we get, I think we'll run through this task list and then we'll probably call it a day. I think we are winding down. I think we've got some good story beats in there, and then all we need to do is just write up some, my brain, it's gone. It's going. It's out. Then all we need to do is just write up some, like, actual, session notes for it. So, the Unknown One dreams. I kind of... I feel like this one has to... I'm gonna do something very basic. I'm just gonna be like, a quick wisp of hair, a flash of skin, a blink of an eye, a brief look at Illustrae. Perfect. Brilliant. Okay. Finally cooled off. It's 24 degrees Celsius. What is it like to be cold in the summer? Tell me. That's cold to me. Arizona, geez, you must be cooking right now, just coming out of summer. Yeah, so the way Arizona works is that it's summer for about 70% of the year, and then it becomes fall. Well, what everyone else considers fall. I consider freezing. I consider it freezing, personally. It's 4 degrees for me right now. You guys are insane. Maybe a random person that resembles them. Okay. They forgot. So I don't think that they, at this point, have forgotten anyone except for maybe the orphanage people, I think. But we have to recall that we have to keep in mind at least, sorry, that they were taken as kids. So I'm imagining like 6-year-olds. I don't know if that's accurate. In their adolescence. So yeah, like under 10, probably. Adolescence. Maybe define... In the process of developing from a child into adult. That's not helpful, bruh. So, tweens. Tweens. So maybe like 10-ish. I will have to ask her. We shall see. Okay. A brief look at Illustrae. But you would be surprised what little comparisons sometimes spark a thought. Little comparisons. Maybe we give off, I kind of like the vibe. What if we, a brief look at Illustrae. However, gives off the impression that it is just another person to rescue. So like, we as the DM, our brains combined, recognize that it is Illustrae, but when she's looking at this image in her dreamscape, she's like, who is this person? I have to find this person. Yes. Are they? I have to find them. So I will have to write that up to see. If you guys want to, so if you guys want me to, I am totally down to do a stream where I write up session notes. Mine are probably a lot more wordy than most people's, but it is a very boring process. It's mostly just me mumbling to myself and then rewriting stuff 6 times over and then being satisfied with something and then going back and changing it again. So 11 to 14. I think you might be right, Luna. So it said a child to adulthood, which could include... Yeah, I feel like 11 to 14. I'm gonna ask her. I'm asking her. You're right, Luna. You have my brain. Also, what age was she when she was taken from the orphanage? Wow. Okay, perfect. Delightful. Form a phrase someone uses. Oh, I missed stuff that you said, Amon. My bad. A similar feeling to a person they used to know, or a snarky comment. A similar wording. Form a phrase someone uses. So, I kind of... Do you guys want to see the forbidden fruits of the game that I played? It's absolute. So, Zalia is my character, and she writes notes for everybody. So what I do is I go through and we record our sessions because I like rewatching them. And it's also so I can take really good notes. And I have, it's still loading, but there's like 106 pages. Hang on, let's scroll to the bottom. It's 99 pages of 10.5, whatever this word, Segoe? It's 10.5 font of just absolute immaculate notes. These are my notes, it's crazy. Those are not my session notes. So my session notes look more like this. DD, area groups. Let's go to the Buff Ducks. The Buff Ducks session notes. So this was my final session this is what my notes look like. So I had like a scene that I wanted to, like, my players to not interrupt type situation. I had during battle stuff for their final battles. I had an after the battle stuff. I gave them all titles because I'm extra like that, and I give them all presents. And then a cutscene for one of the characters who died. So, yeah, so these are what my notes look like. It's just like little bits and pieces of things that I want word for word, and also just ideas that like end up happening during them. Wow. Okay. I once bought Nimble Writer on Steam as it was on sale and use it for D&D notes. Oh? Okay. Nimble Writer. Let me take a look at that. Ooh, hang on. Nimble Writer. Okay, is a general purpose tool for writing stories. Hang on. Oh, it's blurry. There it goes. Okay. Selection text. Okay. I like it. I like it. I feel like this is, like, not, I mean, whatever works for you, of course. I just feel like I can do this all in Word. So, I don't know if I will particularly use this, but I think it's really cool. I think it's a really good note-taking app if you want to organize your stuff a bit more within a singular app. I personally, like, I have all of my, my stuff organized pretty precisely to how my brain works. It makes it easier for me. I can't second guess my work. Object notes. I use it for PC notes, and the cloud save helps if something breaks. That's really nice. Okay, cool. We'll have to look closer at that later. Awesome. Okay. Starting from the beginning, we have an intro type situation We have an intro type dream. So these are the 2 intro type dreams. We have an idea for the future of failed experiments, possibly the other people in the orphanage. Rayan is slowly going mad. This is going to be more of like a background situation. He's just been reset so many times that at this point he's a little fucked up. His brain's a little fucked up. It's not sure what exactly is real. It knows that something is wrong, but it's not sure what. This maybe could have been from Tapasvari as well. So the warlocks had their village burned, and more or less that's why they put those kids through that. It's so funny how small the world is, isn't it? It's so funny. The truth about the warlocks. Okay, we've got dream sequence that I want to eventually implement. Not quite yet, I don't think, but eventually. She has to make an intelligence or wisdom save every so often. I'm actually going to move this up because I need to remember it. It's very important. Hello, Wafik. Hello, hello. Welcome. You're kind of topping in at the very end. We just kind of finished mapping out the big story beats for Ayla, one of my player characters. And I think that we've got a pretty good setup here. I'm very happy with what we've all combined our singular brain cells to form. I'm so sorry. But if you want to follow, we are probably going to be doing another one of these tomorrow for either Cass or Oriana. I think we're probably going to do Cass. It's probably going to be a shorter one tomorrow. Or if I am exhausted, we may just be playing games. I don't know. We'll see. But I thank you on D&D. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so we will be doing more of this in the future. Definitely in the future. Maybe not tomorrow, but definitely in the future. Yeah. All right. I don't know how to do this, guys. I'm just here to vibe. I'm just here to hang out, and I really appreciate you hopping in and you know, playing D&D with me. This is so fun. I love that we all get to just sit here and talk about being dungeon masters. Even if you haven't been before, it's just really cool to have everybody here for the experience. It's just so much fun. So yeah. I think that's it. So, yeah, I hope you guys all have an awesome day, and thank you so much for joining. I guess I will see you hopefully tomorrow. We shall see if I am exhausted or not. All right. Later, guys.